Diabetes is expensive. Not only do we have to watch what we eat, and often less carby foods are more costly, not only do we have to exercise, which can cost a lot if you're not careful, but many of us have to use medications, and now that's really expensive.
I understand this fully. While some people can manage their diabetes with lifestyle changes alone, many of us can't do that. I'm one. I take medication and I'm glad it's there for when I need it. But it's smart to find ways to pay less, particularly in this economy. So in this video, we look at why meds are less costly than ignoring your diabetes and how to find ways to make the meds less expensive. Diabetes sucks.
But at Simply Diabetes, we can help you manage your diabetes cheaper and easier.
We are not medical professionals. We are people with diabetes, just like you.
Welcome. If you find this information useful, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell your friends about us. How much do meds cost on average?
That's a tough question because different people take different meds. It doesn't help that our medical system is such a complex monstrosity. But it can cost thousands of dollars a year if you include meds and supplies such as testing strips, needles, and so on. In general, if you don't take insulin, pills and supplies run around $100 to $300 a month. That covers basic stuff: metformin, glucose test strips, diabetes checkup copay, and lab test copays.
That's several $1,000s a year right there.
It is. If you take insulin, Ozempic, or some similar GLP-1 and have a continuous glucose monitor that isn't fully covered, that's an additional cost. Insulin alone is pricey.
But I saw insulin is now $35 a month.
Not for everybody and not for every type of insulin.
There are different insulins?
Oh yes. There are many different kinds. We won't get into this now, but some people need multiple kinds daily. If you have shabby insurance, it could be thousands of dollars a year.
Yikes. So what if we just don't buy?
That's not smart. Plus, it could end up even costlier. Remember when we lived in the RV park and there was this guy they took to the emergency? He had diabetes, as it turns out, but he ignored it. He didn't follow the diet, didn't exercise, didn't take any medication. And he ended up with sky-high sugar and collapsed one day. They took him to the emergency and stabilized him in the hospital. He stayed for a few days. And then they brought him back, and I don't know what happened to him after that.
Did they charge him for the emergency treatment and the hospital stay?
They probably did. We moved away, so I'm not sure what happened after that. But an emergency room visit and a hospital stay are the most costly ways to get medical help. It would be a lot more cost-effective to see a doctor 3 times a year and have a metformin prescription. Metformin is actually inexpensive and typically is the first diabetes med most people get.
Do most insurance plans cover metformin?
They do. But sometimes copay is more expensive than not using insurance at all.
That's crazy. I would never think that.
I didn't know either until recently. But you can check out GoodRx, Single Care, or WellRx. They often beat insurance prices. Other good sources are Walmart, Costco, and Sam's Club. Another good source is Mark Cuban's pharmacy, Cost Plus. In my recent search, they beat everybody on metformin.
But they don't have every med.
No. It looks like they have the most common ones. That might change, though, as more people realize how much they could save.
Often there are several versions of the same drug. Are generics cheaper?
They usually are. So that's our next tip. Ask your doctor for generics.
Are they really the same?
The active ingredients really are the same. The inactive ingredients, fillers, are not. But these generic pills are approved by the FDA and they are fine.
Okay, I'm ready to do the search. Shop around and save. What's our next tip?
Ask your doctor for samples.
Really? Why? That's only a one-time thing.
Yes, but it gives you an opportunity to evaluate. What if you're allergic or can't tolerate this specific med? A sample will tell you this without you having to spend a penny.
Good point. So now, if you use the sample and the med works for you, but it's too expensive even after you shop around, now what?
Now you talk to your doctor and tell them your situation. Ask about applying for the patient assistance program. Your doctor should know about how to apply and will help you. Try needymeds.org or RX Assist for applications. There are also state or local medical assistance programs. Again, your doctor should know. Or you can do a quick internet search. Also, some drug companies like Novo Nordisk, Sanofi, and Lilly have free or low-cost insulin for eligible patients. Sometimes doctors also have coupons or can prescribe another med that works. There are many options, but you have to ask.
Can you buy in bulk and save?
Yes, sometimes. Mail order pharmacies can be cheaper if you buy a 3-month supply, but it doesn't always work. So as usual, shop around.
Is that true for supplies too? You can get a larger number of lancets and test strips and other stuff and get a discount?
Yes. Oh, and for these, you might also want to try Amazon.
Those supplies are crazy expensive.
Yeah, that's why I prefer a CGM or continuous glucose monitor. The ones that are most often covered by insurance are Freestyle Libre and Dexcom. I tried them both, and honestly, I can't imagine being without one. It was a game changer. I learned a lot about how my body works, and I no longer need lancets and test strips.
But you have a copay.
Yes, unfortunately. But it's not huge, and it helps so much, I find it worth it.
Don't forget to use your flexible spending account, FSA, or health savings account, HSA, if you have one.
Right. Many people forget to use them, and the money disappears at the end of the year if you don't use it. Plus, you pay for your medical costs with pre-tax dollars, so that's a nice way to stretch your budget.
And the pricier the med, the harder you need to work to get the cost down.
Yes, and some of the priciest are GLP-1, so Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, and others. If you have insurance, manufacturers have saving cards. Check out the ones on Ozempic, so ozempic.com/savings. For Wegovy, we have wegovy.com/savings. For Mounjaro, we have mounjaro.com/savings. And for Zepbound, we have zepbound.com/savings.
That's a lot of /savings.
There is. These can drop your copay to as low as $25 a month, depending on your insurance.
And what if you don't have insurance?
Then you might want to look for patient assistance programs. Most brands offer free or low-cost meds if your income qualifies. Starts with needymeds.org or rxassist.org. Look for Novo Nordisk for Ozempic or Wegovy, or Eli Lilly for Mounjaro and Zepbound programs. Occasionally, you can find off-label alternatives like Ozempic prescribed for weight loss instead of diabetes at a better rate. The weight loss dosage is often larger than diabetes dose, so you might need to adjust dosage. But I have seen these on Groupon, and you can get a monthly dose for about $300. That's for weight loss. So if you need it for diabetes, you use half, and then your monthly cost is only $150.
So what about compounding pharmacies? They make the meds just for you, not simply sell pre-made packages from big pharma companies. I heard they're cheaper.
They can be. If they are licensed in your state, they should be fine.
And then there are telehealth pharmacies that offer GLP-1 alternatives for less.
I occasionally get an offer via email. GLP-1 for way less, like $300 or even $200 for a weight loss dosage, which is twice the therapeutic dose I get. Taking half that would make my cost only $150 per month.
Sounds really good if you compare this to a typical GLP-1 that can cost $1,000 or more.
It does. So I asked my doctor about it, and she was mortified. She immediately started talking about patient assistance. So I asked my cousin, who is a doctor, and he asked his doctor friends for me. The consensus was to stay away. The quality and safety can vary. There's no telling what you're actually getting. Not all online pharmacies are safe.
I have a tip. You can use telehealth clinics with subscription plans. Some services, like Row, Calibrate, or Sequence, bundle medications, coaching, and doctor visits. Prices vary. Sometimes these are better than pharmacy prices, especially if insurance won't cover your meds.
Yes, that's a good tip.
I know. We have family in Canada. They tell us the prices there are a lot cheaper. Can we get our meds from there?
You mean theoretically or practically?
Both.
Theoretically, it's illegal to bring meds from outside of the country. But in practice, if you get it just for yourself with a prescription, only for 90 days or less, it is not a controlled substance, and the drug is considered safe and approved in the country of origin, it's often tolerated. But if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So be careful.
Tolerated in this climate? We've been talking a lot about meds. What about supplies?
These can be expensive too. Yes, the same discount pharmacy sources can be applied not only to meds, but also to supplies. Also, if your strips are expensive, you might want to switch to a meter that takes the less expensive kind.
Can you reuse them?
There's no way to reuse strips that I know of. It might be tempting to reuse needles, but if you can't swing it, it's better not to. Having said that, in many countries that aren't as rich as we are, people reuse needles. So if you can use a fresh needle, do that. But if you are in such dire straits that the choice is to reuse the needle or not take the insulin at all, I would reuse.
Would you share a needle with someone else?
Absolutely not. That's really dangerous.
We've covered a lot of ground. Anything else to add?
One last tip. One of the most underutilized resources is your pharmacist. They know a thing or two about saving money. So I would ask them for advice.
Awesome. I hoped we saved you some money. If we did, give us a like and subscribe to our Simply Diabetes channel. Let's help everyone save money on meds.
And click the bell icon so you are notified when we release our videos. There's a new one every Tuesday night.
See you next time.
Until then, keep your blood sugar in the healthy range.